Greetings, friends. Welcome back to Desert Sky Adventures. This is your Desert Sky Daily for Friday, July 7th, 2023. And today I'm here at the Tombstone City Cemetery, not to be confused with Boot Hill. And I am here today with an important question. Do you recognize this guy? If you're any kind of fan of Western history, you might have thought to yourself, yeah, easy. That's Doc Holliday. And if that was your answer, congratulations, you are absolutely 100% wrong. Yeah, I know, it's wrong. I'm sorry. In fact, the man we see photographed here, his real name is John Escapule, and he was a mining engineer that lived in Tombstone in the 1880s. So wait a minute, if this isn't Doc Holliday, then why do so many people think it is? Well, so glad you asked. According to DocHolidayLive.biz, there are only 2 photos that have been confirmed of Doc Holliday. This one, colorized obviously, and this one. John Escapule was not the only man to be mistaken for Doc Holliday through the years, but we now know that this man is not Doc Holliday, and this man is not either. Which brings us to this image here. Now, I've heard people say that this was a portrait, but according to DocHolidayLive.biz, this was a photograph taken by C.S. Fly sometime in 1882. Many people suspected that this was Doc Holliday, but the problem with this was that if it was indeed 1882, this would have been well after the gunfight, and chances are Doc Holliday would not have been around to take photos with prestigious photographers. But I guess I can see how someone made that mistake. Perhaps the most widely used image of Doc Holliday is the previous photo, touched up with a cowlick for some reason. But remember, there's a very good possibility that this man is not Doc Holliday either. Since then, the incorrect image of Doc Holliday has been all over the West, and hundreds, if not thousands, of people have gotten tattoos that they believed were Doc Holliday, but were actually of John Escapule. So not only did John Escapule donate the land for this city cemetery, which was in desperate need after the city outgrew the needs of the old Boot Hill cemetery, he donated the land to build this cemetery here. And based on what I read, he and his wife are buried here somewhere. I'm just not exactly sure where. Let's take a look around, see if we can find him. This graveyard is still in use. You see a gravestone here from around this time last year. And it looks like someone has left a hat. Possibly to commemorate their passing. Rest in peace. So as you can probably tell by now, this is a huge cemetery, and this is just one section of it. There's a couple different pieces as I understand it, but I'm not exactly sure which piece John Escapule is buried in. So I'm hoping I can find him before I dehydrate and die out here in the desert. Luckily, they won't have to take me too far for burial. Nothing yet. I will continue the search. Hopefully, we can locate that grave of Mr. Escapule. Come on, John, where are you at? Could take quite some time to go up and down every row. I would think that somebody of John Escapule's stature would have maybe a larger gravestone. But that's just an assumption. I'm not really sure. But I will keep looking. See if I can locate it. Gonna take a break in the shade of this tree and look around at the area I still have not gone to. But I don't know, man. It's getting hot out here, and there are a lot of tombstones yet to check. As you can probably tell, there is not a lot of shade around here. Luckily, there are a few sparse trees, but I just don't know if I'm going to find this today. I mean, I've been here a while. I'm only about halfway through this first section. I haven't even checked anything over there, which goes all the way down to there. And then there's a whole nother section way back there. I just don't think I'm going to be able to last in this heat long enough to search this whole place. But we'll give it a few more minutes and see if I can stumble upon the grave of Mr. John Escapule. John Escapule was born in France in 1856. He came to southeast Arizona in 1877. According to what I can find online, he became friendly with Tombstone founder Ed Shefflin, who hired him to haul timber to the local mines. Escapule eventually got his own mines and ran an essay office near the OK Corral. He also bought ranches, a mill, and reportedly gave land to the old cemetery, not Boot Hill, where he and his wife are buried. He died in 1926. He's actually also the great-grandfather of Tombstone's current mayor, Mayor Dusty Escapule. So they've been here a long time. It's kind of cool. He was known as a man who was there for his friends and would do just about anything to help someone in need. Sounds like a real nice guy. John Escapule died on October 11, 1926. He died of stomach cancer. He was buried on October 12th, 1926. Somewhere right around here. Well, I haven't located the grave of John Escapule just yet, but I did locate the marker for C.S. Fly, the famous tombstone photographer of the 1880s. Buried right here in the Tombstone City Cemetery. Val Kilmer and Dennis Quaid reportedly used his likeness as their image for Doc Holliday in their respective movie roles. They played Doc Holliday in the films Tombstone and Wyatt Earp. According to True West magazine, A copy of this photo was purportedly presented to the Arizona Historical Society after being discovered in a family album of someone who had been a mining engineer in Tombstone in the 80s, make that the 1880s. The Arizona Historical Society then filed it as Doc Holliday and supplied it to numerous people requesting his picture. Doc Holliday was in Tombstone at the same time as John Escapule, but it's unknown if the two ever crossed paths. So if you are one of those folks that got a tattoo of John Escapule thinking it was Doc Holliday, well, you still have a tattoo of a very important historical figure in Tombstone's history, but it's not Doc Holliday. And I have asked a couple people who I believe would know exactly where John Escapule was buried, but they have not gotten back to me yet. And I'm not going to last too much longer out in this heat, so this is where I think I'm going to call it a day, my friends. But I definitely thank you for joining me here at the new Tombstone City Cemetery. And when I do locate that grave, we'll come back another day and check it out. But until then, until the next video, we'll see you down the road.